Okay, so I explained principle of impulse and momentum and the energy principle and how to use it. And I emphasize again, you have to draw your selected principle graphically, and you have to invite a coordinate, and then you have to write down the coordinate based on your graphical expression, and you have to count number of unknowns and equations, so on, step by step. If you mix up this procedure, for example, I will do this way. Again, using this example. Maybe you start to solve this equation. Okay, because this is moving, let me use Newton's second law. So find out all the forces. T, and there must be mg, and that has to be equal to, okay, what kind of coordinate? Maybe I will use this and that. Okay, that is MAT vector, MAN vector. Okay, you can solve it. And then you say, okay, MAN, the magnitude of this has to be V square over rho. You remember something. And AT, vector AT, magnitude of AT should be V. Dot. Then, what is the coordinate I'm using? So maybe you say, oh, this is the coordinate I'm using as why I need to calculate T. So, and you look at the solution. That's what you usually, I expect, do it. Or maybe you remember T is something, and then plug what you can remember over here and continue to work. This is not what you have to, this is not what I recommend you to do. Instead of juggling, go back and forth the solution from somewhere and yourself, you just strictly follow the steps. Okay? That will open your understanding about the dynamics. All right, let's move to another chapter. Or, before we go to another chapter, let's start to investigate another tip. Suppose we have two balls that has mass 1 and mass 2, and this mass is moving with the velocity v1, and this mass is moving velocity v2. And we would like to know the velocity of each mass after it collide each other, and the coefficient of restitution E equal 1. Okay, what kind of principle? We would like to use? What kind of principle we would like to use? Because it involves velocity and the impact, what would be the best candidate of principle? Principle of impulse and momentum. Okay, principle of impulse and momentum. We select that. Second, how to implement the principle of impulse and momentum? It says linear momentum at state 1 and the impulse has to be balanced by linear momentum at state 2. So this is a state 1. So I say this is M1V1. This is M2V2. If you like, instead of using scalar, you can change this to vector form. Or if you keep scalar form, assuming that you are using some coordinates. Okay? And then it collides, and you know this is tangential direction and this is normal direction. Okay? So after collision at state 2, this one might move maybe this way and this one is that way. Okay. Then I say this is MV1 prime and this is M2V2 prime. Okay? Over here, what I have? Over here I have plus, then I have to write equal and opposite impulse 1 and 2. And that has to be equal that one. That's the pictorial expression of principle of impulse and momentum, right? Okay? I just pictorially expressed principle of impulse and momentum. This one plus, that has to be equal to that one. Now, recognize that those are all vectors. And vectors has to be expressed in terms of magnitude and direction. Therefore, I need to invite certain coordinate that can properly express the vectors. So I invite the vector coordinate xy. Okay, that's the logic. And the third, this is third, invite coordinate. What is the fourth step? Fourth step, I write down equation according to the coordinate I select. So that is first in x direction, state 1 express that MV1 x component plus what? Plus I have another one, MV2 x component. This is a linear momentum x direction, right? Plus impulse 1 and 2, that is 0 because I have equal and opposite force. And that has to be equal to MV1 prime x plus MV2 prime x. You have a question? Okay. And in y direction, Or you could say tangential direction and this is normal direction. What I have, mv1y plus mv2y plus there is nothing impulse 1 and 2 because impulse only acting on normal each other. And that has to be equal to this has to be m1, m1, m2, m2, m1, m2. That has to be m1 v1 y prime plus m2 v2 y prime. Okay?